Good morning and happy Tuesday. It's 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. That means it is time for a little tea and wild thoughts with me, your girl. That is 30 minutes of dialogue. Just sharing these wild and free thoughts of mine. I hope that everybody is blessed and well. Let a few people come on in this morning. You may be watching this at a later date and time on YouTube. So if you are, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be, you are welcome here. I'm grateful you are here. Please hit that like and share and subscribe button for me. Show your girl some love. We're just getting the vibe right as we always do. And yeah, hoping everybody is just feeling blessed. I am in a good mood this morning. I really cannot complain at all. A little Palo Santo. Just doing a little housekeeping. Plugging a few products from the self-care store. That is my online store where you can find the products that I make and products that I just use and enjoy myself too. So this is actually called Florida water. This is my homemade Florida water. Good morning, love. Welcome on in. And we see, oh my God, y'all, my stuff be good. I don't know why people be tripping. But I literally am showing you the little recipe card that I have right here too. And so, we see Florida water for those who are into the metaphysical all the time online. It's a spiritual cleanser. This is homemade Florida water. It is not the manufactured kind. So it literally has juniper berry, cloves, cinnamon stick, rose petals, lemon, lavender, chamomile, chrysanthemum, sandalwood, all of these things. Oh, thank you. I missed y'all too. I did. And so it is literally like a homemade cologne. And of course it also is blessed, and it, will do the spiritual cleansing as well. So I like everything authentic myself. So that is Florida water. Of course, I have energy clearing kits, just like I use the Palo Santo. There's a Palo Santo stick in here. You got your sage smudge stick, the blessing oil, lots of good things. So make sure that you check out the self-care store. Yes, I wasn't here last week. Dad had a doctor's appointment. All is well, everything is fine. He just had to go, do some stuff, follow up for his eye appointments. So we did that. It's cool. I have been busy as usual. Ain't nothing different about that. I'm used to it at this point. But I am just kind of enjoying a nice balance. I feel like I'm in second gear now, just kind of just traveling along, got a nice balance of things, everything. I always say I'm keeping all the balls in the air. I'm still juggling between dad and the job and the business and, just trying to scale everything and take it to the next level. But it is what it is. When we write all these things down and manifest, we never think that we're going to get it all at the same time or that it's going to feel the way that it does. So I'm just grateful. I'm taking it all in. So since the last time we had this chat, we lost DMX. I had just done the conversation. He was actually still in the hospital and had just done the conversation about divine masculine. And, so I was able to post that the next week. I thought that was, still in alignment. We also lost Black Rob a few days ago. Everybody remembers the song Whoa. These brothers, I've been talking for a long time about, being connected. We can call it beauty. We can call it, beauty is health. It's life, and beauty is connected to health. These brothers getting out of here early. we are, you know, I just turned 40, approaching that age, are at that age where, you know, gotta be taking good care of yourself. If you haven't been, then now is the time to make a change, because, you know, God bless them all. And mentally too, you know, take care of yourself mentally and emotionally so that you can sustain these health decisions. So, you know, unfortunately, we lost these guys. Very sad. Let me also say really quickly, I'm just kind of bouncing around. Good morning, love. Welcome in. That I'm also at Essential Aesthetics and Laser in Charlotte. I have been talking about this microneedling procedure that I was about to have done 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I didn't do it. I am actually going to get it done this Friday, so I will be letting you guys know exactly how that goes. Doing that with the skin pen, but you can definitely come and see me at Essential. We do facials, gua sha, laser hair removal, absolutely everything that you could ever think of and need. We do some of the best treatments in the Southeast. So you can come and see me there. We'll help you reach these skin goals. And you can sign up for my email list and just stay updated on absolutely everything that I have going on. So anyway, now that we have that done and the housekeeping is all done, let's talk about some of the things that, like I said, I've been, you know, kind of juggling last week. But I did get a chance, and in this nice balance, I did get a chance to catch up on a couple of shows. One of them was, and you guys can let me know if you have seen this, Bobby Brown on the Red Table Talk. Really, really moving interview. It's probably the first time we really heard Bobby speak about anything, really, since he's lost so many people. I mean, you know, he lost Whitney, he lost Bobby Christina, and then, you know, lost his son. And so to hear Bobby come out, you know, to really see him be supported by his wife as well, you know, they were really talking about therapy and you know, him again getting himself straight, his body right, substance abuse, you know, so many things that not only affect him, but, you know, I think are very relatable in our community in general. So I did catch up on that, and if you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. It's on Facebook. Really good. The other one is Them on Amazon Prime. And if you haven't, I don't know if you've heard about Them, but it's very controversial these days. You know, a lot of it's being said that, you know, it's very, very racist. The show is about a black family who moves from North Carolina to Compton, California, and these 10 days that they experience right after they moved there. And this is set in the, let's say, in the 50s. I'm not sure. But clearly, you know, the community didn't want them there. And so it's a horror series. And watch the show for myself, just because I'm the type that I really have a problem with just formulating my opinions from reviews. And good morning, Tracy. I really have a problem formulating my opinions just from things that other people say. I need to see it for myself. I'm not into horror, but just because they kept saying that it was so racist, and the executive producer is a black woman, I wanted to see it. And so I personally didn't find it any more racist than America. You know, American history really is. I felt like it was really on cue. Historically, you know, with a lot of things we experienced. And unfortunately, yeah, that can feel like horror when you really get to thinking about that. But they did really take on some interesting angles to it and some perspectives that I haven't really seen discussed before. And one of those, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just reading my notes real quick. Lots of people upset about this because it also takes on the question, of how Black people can participate in some of the things that bring us down. So, I will give you that it is a trigger warning. There are definitely some really triggering scenes in there. But again, unfortunately, it's very on cue to our history, Sometimes I really can't imagine, my parents' age and think about our grandparents and some of the things that they must have seen and experienced. To see it dramatized is one thing, and then to see it in real life is another. So, yeah, see it at your own risk. I'm not telling you that I'm an advocate of it. I'm just saying develop your own opinion about it. Don't just take the reviews, and go off of that. But, respect your mental health. Do what you got to do. Another angle that I found very interesting within the series was the chat or the way they display in the layers of Black motherhood. Again, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but we have to really think about the trauma that, and I'm just going to specifically speak to Black women because it also talks about gender a lot. So it's not that all women, can't be oppressed, but of course I'm going to advocate for Black women. And just, the emotional stress, the emotional strain that Black women, really experience on a regular basis, and then to, be trying to raise children and protect them and, at times feel powerless and things like that throughout that dynamic. And, the weight that a lot of all Black mothers carry, just trying to exist here, in this society, and then, to be shaping young lives in the process of that. The layers that it explores in this show is really it's a lot. It's a lot. I applaud them for, just even trying to tackle it. This conversation, I think, may even... Good morning and welcome. This conversation that we're going to have this morning, we're already having. I think we may have to continue this conversation. So I welcome the feedback, that everybody will have, because I posted this picture yesterday of Whitney Houston and Cissy Houston, her mother. And so I'm the thoughts are wild. I'm venturing into talking about the show Them, how it displays Black motherhood, and now, a real life, because that's a dramatization and a real life example of how the strains of motherhood in trying to raise young lives, right? And so, when I thought about, how much, your mother plays a role in shaping how you see yourself, right? And then, again, to live in a society that doesn't speak to your existence very much at all, it just really is giving me another... I've struggled with my relationship with my mom for quite some time. Most of y'all know that. And if you don't, now you do. We have a decent relationship at this point, but, I'll just say in the show, this woman loses her son. And so my mom lost her son. My brother died when I was 11 years old. And so again, just the weight of carrying all that and trying to grieve and then trying to raise and shape a young life in the process. Also in a world that doesn't speak to your beauty. Sorry, I'm getting a text. It doesn't speak to your beauty. It doesn't speak to your life having a lot of meaning. To this day, we're still seeing Black lives being taken on a daily basis. The fear that we carry. And so sometimes, just to try to lighten it up, I work with women every single day women as a whole, but, I tend to speak to Black women, again, specifically, who tend to struggle, with just looking at themselves in the mirror and seeing themselves as beautiful. Like, I think about how that shows up for us, like, again, in this world of already just struggling, but this person, your mother, is supposed to be that person that, you feel safe with, and you, calls you beautiful, and, and helps you to see yourself. And she's already struggling with so many things, here in the world. And so, I've just been really thinking about how that affects us, how that affects the way that we see ourselves when we don't have a foundation of, and not everybody struggles in this way, but again, I think there's a lot more of it than we tend to speak to. I think we're all doing the best that we can, and we've done the best that we can. But it's really, really challenging. It's really challenging. So when I thought about tumultuous relationships, that we may be able to just, we had that representation. The first relationship or mother-daughter relationship that I could think of was Whitney Houston and Cissy Houston. And so they're not known to particularly be tumultuous. Whitney Houston, we all know what happened with her. We all know that, she ended up on drugs, which was unfortunate. But when I looked for those pictures of her and her mother, and again, just coming from my own experience of having struggles with my mom, there was something I could see in her eyes, and in both of their eyes. When you are constantly striving to please your mother, to when you're constantly struggling to please her, you're trying to get her validation, you're trying to get her acceptance, and just her approval in general. It doesn't matter if the whole world tells you you're amazing. You're always after your core caregiver, that one person. You're after their approval, and that type of thing really can lead you to making some decisions in life. It weighs extremely heavily. It weighs extremely heavily on your psyche. And I mean, look who freaking Whitney Houston is and was. Like one of the iconic voices of our time. And to say that she didn't struggle, is just, I know that Oprah talked to Cissy at one point. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that interview, but because all the blame, and to bring it all full circle, all the blame has gone to Bobby Brown, right? Like, all the blame has gone to him putting her on drugs. And even in this Red Table Talk interview that I was talking about earlier, he says that it was Whitney's brother who actually introduced Whitney to drugs for the first time, and that he saw that on their wedding day. He actually saw Whitney take drugs for the first time on their wedding day. And so when I hear things like that, the first thing that my mind goes to is, again, what was going on in that's the brother and the sister. What was going on in their household to create, that need for escape? What was going on with, there's a central figure there, in their core caregiving group. And so, I'm just thinking about the pressures. Again, this is not a jab at motherhood because, I'm not a mother. I don't know how it feels. I am a Black woman. I do know how that feels. To put the two together, I think it's just a weight that we have not explored on some levels, because I think that motherhood is such a gift, and so a lot of times it has weighed heavily on the children just to uphold this perception and image of motherhood, when at the end of the day, a lot of us have struggled, and we have not gotten some of our emotional needs met. We've not gotten the support, the things that we needed. And so, I know that Sissy Houston wanted to be a star, and that she was, she had a musical career herself. And so I just think about the pressure that must have been on Whitney, to become and to be. And, basically still, who was there just to tell Whitney that, you're amazing, you're great, you're beautiful. You can talk about it all day long, but the evidence is in the actions. This woman literally was on drugs to the point where, it took her life. It took her life away. And so, a lot of time we brush these things under the rug. Oh, well, at least you had this and at least you had that. At least you had food to eat. And yeah, you did. Again, it's not a jab, but I think that we do need a space to look at the layers of it. And that is what I see in the show. Them exploring the layers. It's not that history has not treated us, as worse, as bad as it possibly could. We have experienced some horrific things as Black women and as Black people here in this country. However, that healing is going to take us exploring the different layers of how these things have affected us, taking accountability. I say these things all the time, but I'm gonna keep saying them over and over again because it's just the truth and it's what we need to do. We cannot keep pointing the finger at everyone else. They can take their accountability on their own, but our healing is up to us. And so, even in my own experience with my mother, I love my mother dearly. I would never ever say that she has not done the absolute best that she can. This woman has, she lost a child. She survived cancer. She survived, heart issues and being asthmatic as a child. And, my mother has survived so much. But the emotional weight of her not dealing with some of those things in the proper way fell on me. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. And so, that has shown up for me as constantly striving for her approval in a way that, number one, I don't think she ever got to the point where she could see herself as worthy in a certain way here in society. I mean, these are things that she's just now exploring at 70 something years old. I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna live my life in a way that she wasn't able to, whether she approves of it or not. And so, I just try to be a walking, living, breathing testimony. My mom has, some women I hear, their mothers literally call them out of their names and, talk really down to them. And, people have struggled with some really serious experiences in terms of, again, that core caregiver in shaping the way that they see themselves. And so when we're adults, and again, we're just looking in the freaking mirror and trying to find a foundation, a foundation or a lipstick, or, you know, you're just looking to feel pretty. It's not, you know, the fact that you're not pretty that sometimes that you're struggling with. Is that inner voice, and where did that voice come from? You know, we have to think about that. And it's okay to start holding people accountable for having a part in that. It's not that, again, you need them to say anything, but just to take the ownership for yourself so that you can start changing that narrative. A lot of people struggle with this, y'all. Again, I work in the beauty industry. I hear it all the time. All the time. I knew even yesterday that when I said it, it was going to be a lot of people that think about it in their mind, you know, but not even going to touch it, because it can be such a painful topic to explore, that, again, you know, our mothers can be a part of what makes us not feel so good, you know, and not feel like we matter, or like we're beautiful, or like, yeah, like our mothers had a part in that. Not shaming moms at all. It's hard. I know that it's hard. They talk about how hard it is all the time, but just trying to, you know, keep up with the perfectionism of it too. You know, I think, again, we need safe spaces to continue to talk and have dialogues, and maybe sometimes be able to say, like, they didn't do that right, or I'm not doing it right, or I didn't do it right, or I didn't have the representation, or nobody showed me, or I didn't know. You know, maybe if someone like Whitney Houston had a safe space to be able to say all that, she could have had a different outcome. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it speaks to someone. It's a topic that I will continue. It's pretty broad. You know, there are some layers to it. Definitely layers to it that I think we can explore more. And so we'll do that in future conversations. Yeah. So I'm going to share my wild thought of the day. It is: the way others see you is not a threat to the way you see yourself. Their perception doesn't dictate your reality. And what that means is, you know, even again, I've heard stories from people where their mother called them a bitch, hoe, slut, whatever. If that's the way someone else chooses to see you, and you don't see yourself that way, or they speak to you and you don't, you know, it doesn't have to shape the way that you see yourself. And just because they see you that way, again, doesn't mean that you have to take ownership, you know, of that. So even when I see people getting so upset about this show, them, why do y'all care so much about the way they see you? They're going to see you the way they do. It's all about how you see yourself. So, I hope that everybody has an amazing day. I know the topic was a little heavy, but, you know, no time like the present to explore. If you're watching on YouTube, again, please make sure that you, Miss Nikki, welcome, good morning. I'm just wrapping up. I will be posting this here on IG. It will also be posted on YouTube for those who are watching on YouTube at a later date and time. I appreciate you being here. Again, hit that like, share, subscribe button. I will be here next Tuesday, God willing. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. All right. Peace.